We are changing, but why are we changing? Our whole environment is changing. You feel it, we all feel it in everyday life. Everything is more connected. We have friends all over the world and we can talk to them and see them every single day.
ITCS Pizzatime Podcast. Cheesy questions and juicy answers for the tech community.
Hi und willkommen zu einer neuen und der letzten Episode des ITCS Pizzatime Tech Podcasts im Jahr 2021. Doch vorab, ho ho ho, fröhliche Weihnachten an unsere Techies. Auch heute am zweiten Weihnachtstag haben wir für euch einen auditiven Leckerbissen. Heute dreht sich alles um das Thema globale Digitalisierung bzw. Globalisierung durch Digitalisierung. Das Umwandeln von analogen Werten in digitale Formate ist die ursprüngliche Bedeutung von Digitalisierung. Informationen können gespeichert werden und ermöglichen eine elektronische Datenverarbeitung. Die Pandemie hat das normale Geschäft der Globalisierung etwas ausgebremst, doch mit Hilfe der Digitalisierung stellt dies kein Problem dar. Wie sowas funktionieren kann und Hand in Hand geht, zeigt Laura Medina, Head of IT Planning bei DEKRA und erklärt euch, wie Unternehmen wie DEKRA den digitalen und globalen Transformationsprozess erfolgreich meistern. Und Achtung, packt eure Englischkenntnisse aus, denn dieser Vortrag findet in englischer Ausführung statt.
Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Laura. I'm Head of IT Planning here in DEKRA in Stuttgart. And I'm going to guide you through a small presentation about DEKRA's global IT today. First of all, you might know DEKRA already. DEKRA, big name for us in Germany, mainly linked to vehicle inspections and very on-hand support and services towards the customer. What I'm going to talk to you about today is basically I want to show you how a globally integrated IT organization can be the foundation to an organization like DEKRA. You know, very local business. We're going to go a step further and I'm going to show you a little bit how we developed as a global integrated IT in the last year. First of all, what does DEKRA really do? I've talked already about the vehicle inspections. You know, your car every 2 years is going through that kind of inspection, but we actually do more than only that. We do have a big area of activity in product testing, meaning new products that might go on the market. We have big chambers where we go in, we check if the product is actually fitting and matching European regulations, also regulations in terms of telephony and data, and a big activity in that area. We do also support training activities. So everything around security, being trained in a company or anywhere else in an academy, we actually support with our expertise of security. We also have a service division focusing on audits in terms of helping industries, companies to match a certain standard in terms of security also here. We are very big in the area of industry inspection. So not only are we inspecting and making sure that the security of a car is where it should be, but also big construction plants, any kind of heavy machinery we're testing in terms of security. And of course, if there is damage, an accident, we also in the area of cancer and expertise, we go in and we check how big the damage is and where the insurances can go in and basically exchange for the damage. So you see, we do have a big range of services. DEKRA is based on services. We're an expert organization and security is our label, our product. What does this mean for us in the future? And this is exactly the key that we need to take and keep in thought when talking about our IT, which is what we're here for today. Basically, we are changing, but why are we changing? Our whole environment is changing. You feel it, we all feel it in everyday life. Everything is more connected. We have friends all over the world and we can talk to them and see them every single day if you want to. We do have also more and more interconnected hardware and mechanics. So we are living in an area of spreading connections, of more data jumping, more agile, more digital world and more digital way of life. And the same also for our jobs. Also, our jobs are getting more digital. Things are moving faster and faster. What does this mean for us and why is it so important for us? Well, basically, as you saw in our video, we are securing and offering security as a service. Well, you see, services as such are being pushed into the digital area way faster than a hardware product could be. But especially in the area of securing things, RPA, so robotic product automation, data analytics, IoT, global integration, AI are just buzzwords to show you technologies and techniques that are actually influencing our services and our products in terms of we having to offer security also for new kinds of settings like automated drivings. We will have to be able to cope with additional testing possibilities in terms of long distance testing or newer, even more connected hardware that needs to be put to a security measure. And the same also, if you think of new risks that might come up from there, also our services will have to adapt with that. So we saw that. And you see that all of the points here on the right basically are based on connections. I've been saying that a lot of times. So interconnections, you all know as IT experts of the future that AI does not work without data. Data analytics does not work with data that is interconnected. And now let's sit back and look at which makes sense in the future, in sense as a whole. What does that mean for an organization? I've told you in the beginning, DEKRA is a very classical, big organization. Well, DEKRA actually grew in the last years by acquisition. This means that worldwide, our 46,000 employees are distributed all over the world. And so did also our IT teams. You see right there a big clash, because if you're driving and moving towards interconnected services, and you're having the necessity to interlink yourself to create new digital services, a distributed worldwide local focused IT structure is not going to be able to cope with that. This is what we saw. We were coming 1.5 years ago. We were coming from a Swiss Army knife perspective. So in each country, in Italy, in Germany, in France, and Spain, we had a group of IT experts that was doing everything from infrastructure to application development to CRM governance. What we saw was, okay, our services need to interconnect and need to become more global. What we did then was to say, okay, how can we bring this local IT structure into a global organization of experts? So we actually deep dived into each single country and checked who is best at what and created a global IT structure that is now focusing on creating these services way more focused and way more higher integrated level that we would never have been able to do before. And this is, in my last overview, the insights that I would like to show you. What does this really mean? So basically, I'm going to show you the 5 layers of our new organization worldwide. This organization went live beginning of this year. So in April 2021, we transformed this new organization counting over 700 people, 700 experts involved in 5 areas of activity that have really specific, clear tasks and areas of movement. At the very, very basic standing layer, so we're building the house from the bottom, from the foundation, we have global infrastructure and operations. In short, GEO. GEO provides everything that is needed in order for our daily life to function, for our developing teams to be able to develop, and to ensure a security that needs to cope with global accesses, with cloud technologies, and that allows us to work, and especially had a big, big role in us being able to get through the pandemic. So we do have cloud first strategy, so having our data and our applications stored in the cloud. Office 365 and security as the main focus areas of this organizational unit in the future and right now. A new organizational unit that we created in the background of our transformation was digital platforms. Digital platforms basically offers everything is possible as a service. Also generic components, which is what does this mean? IoT platform, a data analytics platform, an integrated layer, master data management. So what we're doing is we're creating a set of platforms that are global and that go through the whole of DEKRA for us to be able to, on this generic platform, create applications that will cover needs of business units all over the world. And this is what's going to be the key for us in the future. And this is why this organizational unit is so important for us right now, because before we did not even have this global thought. Now we have it implemented in our organization and building a real value for our IT organization and DEKRA as a whole. On top of that, we do have our corporate functions IT. Corporate functions IT covers customer first, so DEKRA internal customers, which are our corporate functions, meaning sales and marketing, meaning HR, meaning accounting and controlling, which basically all have demands for us to take care of from IT perspective. I told you in the beginning, our world is digitalizing really fast. Also, it's our work streams, and so are also our processes. And it's the charge of corporate functions to understand what needs do our internal customers have in terms of internal process excellence, and get those on board in the sense of CRM systems, in the sense of reporting systems, of HR systems. And this is mainly our first customer-facing demand management work unit. On top of these, you'll find our TIC business software teams. Business software, also BIS software called, is, again, the bridge between us as IT and our internal customers in terms of the service divisions I showed you in the beginning. So our areas of the business that are then developing services for you as a customer, for you coming with your car to inspect it, but then maybe in 10 years or 5 years or 3 years, coming in with your electric vehicle to actually test it. So we do have internally business units that are in charge of developing new services, and these are, for us as IT, our internal business customers. And these business softwares, BIS softwares or units are faced directly in understanding their demands, in pushing these forward, and in collaborating with these as a trusted partner to develop those based on the generic components that our digital platform colleagues built to create a product that is fast on the market, is efficient, is state-of-the-art, and can actually really be delivered at the best of the practice level. This is the main 4 components of our organization. And as you see, they're all highly interlinked. So infrastructure and operations is giving us the basis. Without each, anything else cannot work. Digital platforms is giving us the generic components that make it easier for corporate functions and for the business software to develop things, new things, good, fast, effectively, securely. But we're talking about 700 people. How do you coordinate that? It's where our last area of the organization comes in, which is PGP. PGP is portfolio governance and PMO. Well, you can imagine that all of these interrelation cannot work without someone taking care that everybody's using the same tools, the same processes, the same methods. And this is basically what we do, my part of the organization does. We're something like the toolbox for these other 4 teams in order to get everything ready how it should. So now you see DEKRA IT is definitely a global organization. We are moving faster than anybody could have imagined a few years ago. And we are pushing and moving towards new technologies. We're building the base and setting up an organization that works in international teams of global experts, creating a real value for where DEKRA as a whole is going in the future. So therefore, I hope that I could show you some incentives of why coming to work for us in DEKRA IT, DEKRA Global Integrated IT, can be of value for you in your career. If you have any questions, you can meet my colleague Tobias and me in the virtual rooms after this presentation, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions. You have also here in the presentation a short overview of what that actually means, being in Global Integrated IT. We're serving more than 30,000 users. We have over 800 projects, many applications, virtual service, more than 690 employees, and we're acting in more than 30 countries. So basically, you can either make the step or don't make it. Definitely asking never harms. See you very soon. Take care, and hopefully to hear from you very soon.
Danke an Laura. Mir bleibt nur zu sagen, dass wir euch im Namen der gesamten ITCS-Crew einen schönen 2. Weihnachtstag wünschen und einen guten Rutsch ins neue Jahr. Ciao!
ITCS Pizzatime Podcast.